Well, hey, Tim, how's it going?
Hey Chad, this week's been pretty good. Hogs are 4-0. Can't ask for more than that.
I tell you what, 4-0. Could you believe that? I guess you could because we had that predicted at this point in the
Yeah.
year. And I think the big question we had was, will we not will we beat A&M, but will we be able to beat Georgia? And I think there's some reasons that we might be able to win this game. I guess we'll get into that a little bit later, but this is an exciting podcast, an exciting time, and I'm just glad everybody's here to tag along with us.
Yeah, I know. Even though listenership has been good all exactly this. I'm not sure we knew we were going to be number 8, but I did think we talked about being 4-0,
Mm-hmm.
going to Georgia. They were going to be top 5, and we were going to be ranked. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Oh yeah, if you told me, hey, you're going to be number 8th in the nation, after these two wins, I don't know that I would have felt the same way. I don't know. I would have thought like, yeah, that's where we're going to be, and we're going to be in a good, a good situation for that. But yeah, it looks like we are. So it's just really exciting to see, and I think that we're going to be able to move forward and have a good year.
yeah, it's one thing. We're talking about, that'd be nice to be 4-0 going into Georgia, but to really see it, especially how the program's been in the last, 9 whatever seasons, and just to be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're back top 10 again. This is where we belong. All right, let's move the next step. Now we're competing. We're playing a game. And, we've been playing. The Texas game was a national game, night ESPN game. The A&M game was a 2:30 CBS, one of the games of the week, and this will be Georgia and Arkansas. I mean, this is going to be, um, college game day is going to be in Athens, so it's going to be an atmosphere, and this is a big time SEC for not only the SEC West, not only for us, it's for Georgia in the SEC, and also the college playoff. Talk. I mean,
And
if
I
whoever
think
wins, I mean, this is big. Can't. It's hard to lose a game. You don't want to lose. You can lose one game, but you can't lose more than that. So this is a huge game for both teams, and especially us.
exactly, and I think you going into Georgia and you're playing at Georgia and you have an early morning game, 11 o'clock game, and it's exciting because the fans hadn't had enough time to get enough Jack Daniels in their system. They haven't had enough time to have as many beers as they need to have. They're tired. They just got done with their breakfast. They're rolling into the stadium, and it's not going to be as wild and frantic as it normally would. So it gives Arkansas an advantage to have an early away game, and it's nice that we have that advantage.
Yeah, that's a big advantage. When they first announced that, I was like, oh man, 11 a.m. But the more you think about it, that does nothing but help us. You're going to a big road game. That does nothing but help us. Now, I think that's a big factor in helping us to win this game.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a huge factor to help us win this game because if the fans aren't in it as much as they normally would be, that's helpful. I mean, anytime you go to a stadium like this and you play a team like this that has a fan base like they have, much like ours, you want those early morning games when you're at their stadium playing because it gives you just a teeny tiny bit of an advantage of them not being liquored up. If we're just being honest, because when you're liquored up,
Yeah,
you don't you're screaming and yelling. You don't even realize you're losing your voice.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in Fayetteville, I want the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock game for everybody to get rowdy. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
gonna be nice.
Oh yeah. It's no surprise.
I like that too. I like that too.
It's no surprise that the networks are giving us an early game either. I'm not surprised about that. I would say this is, I feel like, the most significant game. Of course, being an Arkansas fan of the day, but is Ole Miss going to beat Bama? No, I mean we we know that's not going to happen. Is Arkansas going to beat Georgia? Maybe. There's some reasons we might pull this one out. So, and I said, like, if we're 4-0 and we're looking at playing Georgia, we might have a different opinion dependent upon how the year has went, how well we beat the other teams, and what everything has looked like. And I don't know, but to me, it's a winnable game. It's not as dire as a lot of people think. The 18-point poll that they put out there, or for Vegas for the spread or whatnot. I don't give a dang that they're saying that they're going to get 3 touchdowns on us. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we got to worry about that.
Yeah, it's a different situation. At 4-0, you definitely feel even better about our chance against Georgia. If we're 2-2, 3-1, we're in a whole different situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, on the season, but we're not, and this program's rolling. We got some really good momentum. The Bama Ole Miss at 2:30. Of course, they're going to put Alabama at 2:30. They always do. Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin facing Saban, whatever. I don't think. I say that, and I mean, Ole Miss beat Bama when they were number one when they had Bo Wallace at quarterback. But I just don't believe. I feel like Alabama's already taken their close game against Florida, and they're not going to go to Oxford and take a loss this year. I feel like Ole Miss has it coming, and that's a pretty high Vegas point spread as well, around 14-15, which is fair. We got Ole Miss coming next weekend. It would be cool if we beat Georgia and Ole Miss beat Alabama, and maybe it'd be a top 5 matchup. It'd be crazy. Wow. Top 5 matchup.
Wow,
but
that'd be crazy.
I don't see that happening, but that would be cool. I mean,
I don't see it happening either. It'd be cool. I don't see it happening.
But I don't mind playing Ole Miss when they're beat up from Bama and heartbroken. Just like, I thought we really had a chance this year with Matt Corral and all that, and they just got whipped 40 points and demoralized while we're riding high off a road win at Georgia, and we're just ready to rock and roll more.
Absolutely. I don't know. I mean, everything has went well for us, and I'm excited about the year. I think we're going right in the direction we need to go, and we're doing everything we need to do. So it's been a terrific year, and I think it's gonna continue. I think it's gonna continue. Who knows if we'll beat Bama? That's something we'll have to talk about when we get to that game. But right now, if you beat Georgia, I feel like you're not going to lose again until Bama. Like, you have the opportunity to win every game.
Yeah, it's ahead of us. If we beat Georgia, I mean, I don't think this team, with all the senior leadership we have, how much they really appreciate where they are, especially what's gone on before, kind of Pittman, where there isn't. I don't think there'd be a letdown like we beat Georgia and then we lose to Ole Miss, or not going to beat Auburn, especially the way that ended last year. We wouldn't lose to UAPB. We'd smack Mississippi State at home around. My goodness, at Baton Rouge, LSU, not scared of them, and then you play Alabama. So really, this Georgia game is so big. I mean, just so big for so many reasons, and the more. I know we were kind of talking about a pre-show, but I'm just not scared as much especially as much as I was. Not really scared, but like it's just like, oh man, big task. The more you look about this Georgia game, I know after we talk about A&M, we'll look more into Georgia. I know you got some reasons we'll go over that kind of get you guys excited out there, but. It's so exciting. I'm glad it's less than 2 days away. And I'm glad that 11 a.m. game for the reason we don't have to wait all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's reason number one right there. 11 a.m. game. Don't have to wait all day. Lethargic fan base gives us the opportunity to go to a away game and play a lesser volatile crowd than we might if we're playing, at a night game. So that's reason number one. You can chalk that up. Well, I think we had a caller, so let's take a listen to that and see what our caller had to say.
Okay.
Right, here we go.
Hey, Chad and Tim. It's Matt back here with you. I just want to preface everything by saying I'm ecstatic with how the Hogs looked on this last Saturday against Texas A&M. That was sweet. It's been a long time coming, and I'm as hyped about the Hogs as I've ever been. Yeah, but I do have a couple of things I want you guys to touch on. On a lighter note, how about that crap that Isaiah Spiller said, saying that we never stopped him? And number two, I'd like you guys to kind of touch on Blake Kern a little bit and exactly what's going on with him. Because, man, he killed some drives. The guy looked rough, Can't all be sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. So, whoop pig. Have a good one, guys.
And let me just preface this by Matt saying, should we bench Kern in the, where you put the subject of the voicemail or what? Hey, and if you haven't done so and you want to be heard, go ahead and leave your voicemail. We'll definitely play it. We'll definitely talk about it. We'll, I'll tell you, here's the thing about Kern is, well, he's a dang good player. All right, he's on the awards watch list. He's the number 3 receiver on the team, and he's been doing a good job. He's been better more than he's been bad, and he's been targeted a lot, especially in that A&M game, because you're getting a little bit more pressure on your quarterback than you have been getting in some of these other games. So you were seeing, you see them, maybe dropping some balls and so on and so forth. I think that picks up. I think we see that improve in this game and the games moving forward, because we've been noticing this team find these areas like this and then improve on them. And so that's my theory, is that Pittman and everybody will see it in film. They're going to take a good hard look at it, and they're going to get out there and improve on the situation. But yeah, there were some situations in the previous game where Kern could have played a little bit better and helped us out a little bit. I think there was a situation where we almost had a touchdown. Didn't quite get it in there. So anyway, what do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I think what Matt is alluding to is maybe a drop ball in that game. And I mean, you don't want any drop balls, but I'm not sure it warranted the whole subject line of should Kern been benched. And look, Matt, Kern's also a key cog in the run game. Like he's so big in what this rushing attack as a kind of extension of the offensive line. While our running attack been very good, but yeah, it helps to not drop any balls. Kern's, you said, Chad, he's the fourth leading receiver. He's big, like he makes a play. He's had some big plays making first downs. He can rumble and stumble and knock over people and get first downs when he does that, and that's something he can improve on. Yeah, I mean, we got Dow Loggins as tight ends coach. He's going to work with him. We know that he's going to get better. Also, I mean, you look at that's one of the places we don't have a lot of depth at right now is tight end. I mean, they were moving all through fall camp, moving all kinds of guys to tight end, trying them out, different guys. And honestly, I want to say I haven't seen Hudson Henry much at all. You never see him out there. So if there's somebody behind them, that they would give him a chance. Like, I just don't know. Matt, if there's going to be somebody that can step in and be better than Kern in the run game, but hopefully, yeah, I agree, man. I've noticed that There's a drop ball. One time KJ didn't make it easy for him. But, so you're not all the way 100% wrong, Matt. I mean, I'm glad we can kind of nitpick even when we win. I mean, we want to be perfect. That's how we got to beat teams like Georgia and Alabama. Kind of to speak on, do you have anything else about Kern? I was going to talk about that Spiller quote.
Well, no, I don't have anything else about Kern. Like you said, I think that right now he's the weapon that is your best choice, and you got to go that weapon at tight end. I think his blocking has been really really good too. So you got to take that into consideration, how he's improving the run game with his blocking. So should we bench him? I can't get on board with that, but at the same time, I do see where you're coming from. And, I appreciate you bringing it up. And I appreciate you, pointing out what you saw. Because I think that helps everybody to become better at the game whenever they can look at it through the lens of others. So thank you for bringing that up. And, yeah, we can definitely talk about this jackass Spiller and his notion that Arkansas didn't stop them, and it was Texas A&M that lost the game for themselves, rather us beating them. And they took an ass whooping from beginning to end. The stats say that when you look at the yardage for passing, for rushing. We took advantage all the way around. Our defense did a great job of holding them and doing what they needed to do. And whenever you are getting your ass up off the ground after being hit by, I'd say, 6 Razorbacks behind the line of scrimmage, I don't think you ought to be talking about we didn't stop you. Like, the only thing worse is when you get up with a big pile of dirt and grass in your face mask. And I guess that didn't happen. But other than that, he got demolished several times.
Yeah, besides this, he had one good run, a 67-yarder, and that's all they had. Hell, the Georgia Southern did that against us. One play that gassed us. That was like 70 yards. Not even as good, but let's see. So the exact quote from Spiller was, "They never stopped us. We hurt ourselves with penalties and holdings and things like that. They never stopped us. We just got to move on." Okay, that's football. Stop being a crybaby. And after that, if you take away that 67-yard run, Spiller, you averaged like 3 yards a carry at the most. You kept getting stopped. And actually, I think he maybe had, to start the game, he had like a 12-yard run. So you even take that away, you're averaging like 2 yards a carry. You're getting gang tackled every time by the Razorbacks, defensive linemen, the linebackers, everybody just rushing to the ball. What are you talking about? They never stopped us. You barely scored that many.
Yeah,
KJ wouldn't have got hurt in this game. It would have been 40-10. It would have been even worse.
He's definitely going to. You're definitely going to see it in film practice. I mean, he's going to be looking at that in film practice, having to deal with that. Like, everybody laughing and picking on him and stuff. All the other running backs.
Well, the backup guy, he played better in his few attempts. I saw him. I was like, well, they only rushed that many times. Yeah, because they kept getting behind the 8 ball every time because we'd stop them for no gain. And, you're looking at 3rd and long, they'd force the pass. And our pass rush was in them all game long. And with those holdings, that's all they could do. I mean, that's all they could do. Trey Williams was dominated that left tackle every down.
You got 272 yards. That's it. We put up 443 yards on you. Do you know why you have penalties? Because you're frustrated. And generally, frustration comes when you're not playing as well as the other guy. Or maybe you're not even the same talent pool as the other guy. And so you grab that jersey. Or you poke somebody in the eye. Or whatever you feel like you got to do to get the advantage.
Yeah, Jimbo's getting paid $9 million to be an offensive guru. That's what he's getting paid for, to be a quarterback whisperer. He couldn't even get... They can't say, they didn't have their starting quarterback in King. That was a quarterback battle the whole fall camp for them. They don't have a quarterback. They didn't recruit the right guys. They didn't get them ready. Jimbo didn't get them ready. They're awful. Our defense dominated him that entire game.
Spiller's weak, Texas A&M's weak, and Texas kind of weak too. They're damn good teams. I agree with what Sam Pittman said. They're good teams. They just took a whipping. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to say they're not very good teams. And where does that put us? You know what I mean? So I'd like to at least compliment them that much. It's hey, we're just better than them. Smacked them around.
We played a better game than they played. Definitely played a better game than they played. Definitely wasn't a perfect game. Wasn't our best game. We haven't seen that yet. But we played a hell of a lot better game than they played. And that's football. That's the reason you play the game. You don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to go out and have a better game that game. Till you line it up and snap the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's football. I mean, that's SEC football. That was a big game. That's what it comes down to. And we're up 17-0 at a point. I mean, we're just looking good.
Mm-hmm. So I think
we're just dominating.
I was just gonna say I think Spiller can suck it, man. I mean, that's the best. That's the most child-friendly thing I got to say about the whole situation.
Yeah, just cry, baby. It's all right.
Go on, cry somewhere else. It's all right. So, anyway, Matt, thank you for bringing all that up. It was wonderful to talk about it. And if you haven't called in to the Hog Call Podcast and you want your voice heard, go ahead and do that. All you got to do is click the link in the description of the podcast. It'll take you right to the website, and you can leave a voicemail right from your phone or computer. It's very easy to do. So.
Yeah, we love getting those. So thank you, Matt.
Well, I mean, I guess we have to talk about Texas A&M a little bit. I mean, I don't know that, I don't know. This game was, one of those games where I felt like we could have done a little bit better. We could have beat this team a little bit more had we played a little bit better in a couple different areas. I think the number one is, you got to take the field goal when you're at 4th and 1 and within field goal striking distance, and you got a kicker like Little, you got to take the field goal. Just take it. Take the points. Don't try to go for it. Those 3 points could have been needed at the end of this game, and you saw how the points didn't move that much. So, I don't know. We could have needed those. You got to take your points. When you can get them, you got to take them. I felt like that right there was 3 points left on the board, and I'm usually an advocate for going for it on 4th and 1. I really am. I just felt like when you have an opportunity for points, get the points, and that leaves you going for 4th and 1 and bad situations. But I don't know. I believe in our team, man. I believe our team can make a 4th and 1 on the opponent's 45. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that field goal would have made it from that distance to 30-something yarder. Would have made it 20-0, 3 touchdowns. Right there at the end of the second quarter. On 4th and 1 too, I'd like to, and KJ wanted it too, for him to sneak it. We're trying to. I don't know. Felt like might have been better, but I would have liked taking that 3 points and got up 20.
Yeah, you probably go in the halftime 20-0. If you look at how things would have probably shook out if you take it, versus the way they did.
Oh yeah, and then also I think we score more points. Obviously, if KJ doesn't get hurt there, take that hit, and just didn't have any kind of confidence in Hornsby passing the ball. Hopefully that'll kind of get him ready in case that happens again and get some passing. Place for him where they don't know, hey, he's just going to run it or he's going to hand it off.
Well, it's either a situation where they don't want Malik to pass the ball because they don't feel confident in him passing the ball, or it's a situation where they don't want to show Malik passing the ball because they want to use that and put that in their back pocket for something else, and they want to run him to, create the illusion of Malik doesn't pass the ball that much. and then maybe you put him in and you run a little trick play with him. I mean that you never know what these coaches are thinking. So you might have that situation going on where they're setting something up by not running the ball or passing the ball with Malik. But I agree. He has to come in, and it was just run. It was just like, okay, they know what we're going to do at this point. It's detrimental, and it's really kind of harmful to his health at that point because they know he's going to run it, And so you hate to see your number one and your number two quarterback get hurt because you're just running him around the field like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah, we don't want us to go to that number 3 quarterback. Well, even go back to last season, Hornsby played, I think, 2 possessions. They put him in the red zone, and every time it was him rolling out and running the ball. It was just obvious. It was a run play, and that was it. They knew when he was coming in. That's what it is. I'll say he had a nice run. He had a real nice drive, and he ran it down. Got down to the 1 yard line. He gives somebody a hit, and then somebody kind of a late hit on him, and he takes the hit, and then we get a false start, kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, so it puts us at the 3rd and goal from the 6, and we kick a field goal there. But would have been nice to not have that false start and punch the touchdown in. So we left some points up on the board. This is not like you were saying. This is not a perfect game by any means.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, because if Malik's throwing the ball, I mean, even a little bit, just hitting some slants or something like that, just some quick passes, just getting it out of his hands, man. Maybe even, just throwing a screen or something, right? Like, at least you're, I don't know. At least you're given an opportunity to say, okay, well, we believe he can do both things, and you got to watch out when he's in the game. And it was obvious that Texas A&M was not. They did not believe he could throw the ball, and they loaded and brought him after him. And, it's real easy to stop a running quarterback when you're bringing everybody.
Yeah, and he's a real good runner, but you can't just, that's that third quarter when he came in, he didn't even attempt to pass. Mm-mm. And we can't. You gotta have that balance. You gotta push those guys back.
Yeah, and you're right there. You're in striking distance too. You're in striking distance right there. Like, let's go ahead and let him get some playing time in the SEC. Let's sling it. But maybe he can't. Maybe he can't. Maybe they're like, if we have him throw it, it's an interception. We know it's an interception. And where does that leave us? You gotta keep KJ as healthy as possible. You can't have any. These dirty, pushes out of bounds that shove him into the dang sticks, injuring his knee with no flag being thrown. Not an inbounds push either, an out of bounds push.
Oh yeah, they're going to do it too. We talked about this in one of the preseason podcasts that. Asking, is Hornsby going to get some looks at the first team? Because there was reports that he was playing really good and he was able to throw the ball in camp. So why is he not able? Why is the trust not in there to pass the ball? But it is I guess some positive that he got some playing time in a big game. Mm-hmm. He didn't turn the ball over, anything like that. He was doing what he was called on to do. And
you got to give it to Hornsby. He executed the play calls well. So it wasn't Hornsby that did anything wrong. That's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, Hornsby did great with the play calls. He didn't fumble the ball. He didn't cost us the game. He didn't do something he shouldn't have done. Maybe there was an RPO in there or something we don't even know about, and he decided to keep it. That could be some of that could be his decision. So, I guess what I'm saying is there should have been more. There's something just to get his confidence up. Just sling it around. Just some little small throws, in that situation. My opinion. But at the same time, at least we didn't turn it over, right? We did what we needed to do. So you got to give it to the offensive coordinator there that, it wasn't bad play calling or anything. You can't say that either. It just wasn't what I would have done personally,
Yeah, it just feels like they got to have some plays for him, designed for him. Like if he comes in, it could happen again. Mm-hmm. KJ's a running quarterback. He's physical. The SEC's physical. It can happen again. Whether hopefully it's not for a whole game, but what if it's for a drive or two like that, or a quarter or whatever? You got to have him ready, and these SEC defenses are going to know when he's in there. They're going to. But I think he's a solid backup or second string quarterback, and I feel pretty confident and glad he got some experience. But yeah, like you're saying, to get some easy I mean, that's kind of what we did, especially early on in the season for KJ, is get him some easy passes for him to get in rhythm, get some confidence, and it started to really ramp up here that KJ's throwing the ball more downfield and with confidence.
Oh yeah. I'm seeing the defense. I think you're watching this game. You're seeing Malik. You see he can run. Feeling good about it. You're seeing them bring everybody. You know they're going to do it again, and you're thinking like, "Hey, this would be a perfect time to throw a little screen pass right here. Dump a little Mike screen over the top of everybody and let them take it to the house."
Yep.
So. Anyway, I don't know. Do we want to go through this like we normally do, line by line, or?
That's up to you. Not really much. Let's see. First quarter drive comes out. They start off. Spiller gets first down. They get another first down. Calzada runs for the first down. I know Cevis is pretty excited. Like, oh, what a good start.
Mm-hmm.
We end up, 2 first downs and out. We get the ball. What do we do? Drive a little. Traylon Smith, 2 first downs right out of the gate. Nice pass to Burks. I guess Kern, as Matt was saying, gets a false start, kind of puts us behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kick field goal, 3-0. A&M gets the ball back that next possession. Drives a little bit, a couple first downs. Then, again, gets hurried. Trey Williams gets in the backfield again, just like he did the other third down on the first drive. They have to punt it again. We get the ball, false start. Our 1st and 15 pushes back a little bit. What do we do? Cornerback for A&M's playing bump and run on Burks, and he just gets a step on him. KJ, perfect pass, and Burks beats him down the field up 10-0. And you're feeling really good. 2 possessions, 2 scores at that point.
Yeah, and big time explosive, right? Scores. So you're feeling good. Like we can score against this team. That's not the issue. So what can our defense do? That's the big question.
And on that Burks, I think Razorbacks. I saw them tweet out something saying, "Oh, he's the only Razorback receiver," or something like 2 80-yard, 85-yard plus plays in the same year.
Oh, wow.
So that's already just 4 games through, so that's crazy, especially with them missing a lot of fall camp and kind of rusty that game against Rice.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw what he did, that 90-yard took off against Southern, and that play against A&M. So we're up 10-0. A&M gets the ball back. A couple minutes left in the first quarter. They're just not able to get anything. Morgan gets a hurry. Ridgeway gets a hurry. And they have to punt it again. Just not much there. And we're up 10-0 after the first quarter. And let's see. Then we get the ball back. Nothing really. Well, I apologize. All right. So we have a Warren Thompson pass. So he completes a pass to Traylon Burks for 27 yards in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So you got some pretty good momentum going into the second.
Oh yeah.
And
And what happens next? Say it, Tim.
Yeah. Traylon has a couple rushes, and then AJ Jefferson passed to AJ Green. What a play! 48 yards. Green lines up, receiver gets in motion back to the running back spot. A little whirl route out there. He hits one guy, he's got a linebacker matched up on him. He's driving, misses the tackle. He runs over one guy, he spin moves on another guy. Just great run by AJ Green, and he shows his speed to finish it off. 17-0 at that point.
Absolutely. And, during this time, you're hearing, how Williams is knocking out of the park. Fauche's knocking out of the park, just like getting in the backfield, tearing it up, getting pressure on the quarterback. It's a great game to watch at this point because like the defense is doing so well too, and I mean the offense did great, but you got to give it to the defense. I mean how well they played against a really good Texas A&M team. Stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting the backfield, the tackling, just hardly any, just one guy out there having to make open field tackles. It just seemed like if one guy's back there stops it, then another 3 or 4 is coming after him. I mean, got to be frustrating. So the next drive, we're up 17-0. They put in a different running back, gets first down, gets a pass complete to Anus. And from there, nothing much, man. Get a pass breakup. Then Morgan stops them. They get into legal formation. They have to punt again. Just not looking.
I'm glad Anus got his. I'm glad Anus got his name called though, over the loudspeaker.
Yeah. That was it for. That's about it for me. It didn't impress me too much. Our next drive starts with about 10 minutes left. KJ about 3 straight passes. Didn't even run the ball that drive. Got about 4 yards. That was it. I have to punt the ball.
But let's point out Matt's complaint here. Kern is dropping the ball here, and on this drive. So
that's true. That's one of those. So he's up to this point. He's had a penalty in the drop pass. So maybe Matt's on to something there. This next possession, A&M, 3 pass incompletes. We get a pass interference, and Morgan Spiller comes in. Big 7-yard gain, one of his biggest on the day. And then guess what? Spiller rushed for a 4-yard loss. You got Monteric Brown and Ridgeway just combines for that, and then Trey Williams gets a big sack. And what do you got to do? You got to punt. I didn't see any killing themselves holding or pass interference or penalty on A&M that time. I saw really good defense getting stopped in your track. They're getting maybe 1 first down on a lot of drives, and that's it. Like that's not very good. Like that gives you the confidence. That seems like something where I was thinking during the Chad Morris years when we get a first down or two, it's like, all right, we got it cooking, and that's it. Just trying to get excited myself. That's sad, Spiller.
The scariest part about it though was like you would be like, oh dang, they got that first down, man. Like I hope they don't get the next one. Like, cause like usually when it was these old Arkansas teams, it was like, golly, they got the first down, they got us figured out. Not anymore, man. Not anymore.
Now it's like, you know what? It seems like when the field closed a little bit, it's like, yeah, all right, I got that. We're about to get you down. Like that's all you got. Like I'm not scared.
You don't want the field getting shorter. It has to get harder to play.
No.
Just get harder to play. Like damn hogs. You're trying to
get
a rabbit hog out of the corner.
Not that they could get inside they couldn't even get inside. Like they got inside our 30-yard line all game. So that next drive, that was a great five play 2-yard drive by A&M. We get the ball back. Kern gets a false start. Okay, Matt, I see what you're talking about. He gets another penalty to start that drive off. Puts it 1st and 15. Backs up to our 8-yard line. KJ run for 19 yards. Great run. First down. Next play though, we get a sack. KJ fumbles. We get the bounce back. We had 2 fumbles in this game, and they bounced right back to us. That happened in Texas on that punt return. We fumbled and it bounced out of bounds. It feels like we're getting some bounces this year.
Pardon me, sorry.
So let's see, 2nd and 15. And KJ makes a nice back shoulder throw to Tyson Morris for 21 yards, first down. Seems like Morris when he catches it this year's first down. Let's see, a couple of pass incompletes. Let me get a pass interference, so that's nice. We'll take that. Rocket comes in the game, gets a first down by running a couple times.
They don't ever let him just get the ball over and over. Like let's give it a Rocket the first play and see how many times we can just keep handing it to him. So how many of these 15-yarders can he get?
Yeah, definitely not in this. You didn't see Rocket a lot in this game.
Well, I remember at one point asking, like, "Hey, have you seen him?" And you were like, "Yeah, he got like he ripped a couple off." I was like, "Okay."
That was it. I mean, those 2 yards, 5 and a 6 yard gain. That's pretty good. You're averaging 5.5 yards. So this play, throw it down the side, throw it to the couple yard line, and Traylon makes you think he may just barely out of bounds. Would have been a great play. 3rd and 22, KJ completes it to Traylon. Traylon Burks makes a one-handed catch, 21 yards, 4th and 1, and here we go. And we give it to Traylon Smith, and he's stopped. At our 22-yard line, man, would have been a 36-yard field goal, something like that, 35-yard field goal. But we give the ball back to A&M, and they get a couple first downs and get a field goal, 49-yard, and it's 17-3 at halftime. Would have liked to have been 20-0, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. Could have been worse, Could have been worse, but we're getting the ball. Good. We're getting the ball. We're getting the ball to start the third quarter. So
yeah, I was pretty excited about that. We didn't make anything happen. We start off first down. KJ, Traylon running, Green a nice run. Green
can they adjust? That's the question. Are they going to adjust and come back and beat the Hogs?
Yeah, look, that's a pretty good start. They get that field goal. They held us to a 4th down stop. They get a field goal. They stop us coming out of the gates.
Yeah.
And so they've got a chance. They've got a chance here with 13 minutes left in the third quarter. And what do? 3 straight passing completions. And then he gets sacked by Hayden Henry. And
why? Because because we're getting after him. You got Morgan and Brown and Henry in the backfield just running after this guy.
Yeah, so then they punt it. Nice 37-yard punt. So we get the ball. Not bad field position, but again, we don't, we're not making great. Just don't get a whole lot there. Get about 5 yards and have to punt the ball back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a kick catch interference. Give them 15 yards. But what do? Big Spiller, rush, first down, 3-yard loss, puts him behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Spiller.
Well, here we go.
It's like you're having trouble in this game, it seems like, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, until 2 plays later, he hits a 67-yarder, but that was it. They really feel like they've got something going there.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh, yeah. It happened against Georgia Southern, too. Like 1 play, and that was it. That's what happened. That was it. You got 1 play, and that's it. You better make the most of it. Better stop us. So this next play is when KJ goes out. Never mind. He's okay. He got hurt in one of the possession or 2 before, kind of struggling there. Okay, so he said enough. He's hobbling off the field. Hornsby comes in, gets a 16-yard run, nice. Then he gets there's a fumbled snap.
Mm-hmm.
Cunningham falls on it though. There was an offside, so we get 1st and 5. Traylon gets a 0-yard run, 7-yard run, first down. And then we kind of get sacked and not much going. We got to punt it back to him. So we kind of keep the ball for 4 minutes, just not much going there.
A little bit. I mean, we kept the ball for a minute. We ate some time off the clock. We had one little situation that we took care of that we jumped back on the ball, but so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, but A&M's feeling still pretty good at this point. What do? They get sacked. Trey Williams gets another sack, of course. He was in the backfield all day.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't get a lot of. Then they get a delay of game. They have to punt the ball away. Just nothing. Just 5 plays, 14 yards. Not much happened. Defense just stop after stop in this game. They punt it back to us.
4's up.
Traylon rips off a 19-yard run. right before to start the fourth quarter. I mean, it felt pretty good going to the.
Going in the fourth quarter, you have the lead. You've had the lead the entire game, and you feel like you've been dominating. You feel like another score is right around the corner.
Yeah. And so we don't get much going there. Just running the ball every time they're in the backfield. They're sniffing out what we're gonna do. And then the next play, one of the plays of the game, of course, they get a first down to Anus, 23 yards. Momentum again. So it seems like maybe they're going to drive here. They're going to try to tie the game. Calzana, Poole tips the ball, and Monteric Brown gets the interception. And you're just feeling really good where we're at right there. A big interception, big turnover, and then did a pretty good drive. This is where we score that last field goal. Really good drive to kind of take back control. Dominic Johnson gets some good runs in there. Burks has a run. Finally start throwing the ball a little bit, maybe backing them up. Hornsby gets down runs over somebody. Does get hit out of bounds. I think had first goal from one, but whatever. So we're third and goal. And passing a play to Kern. And then Little knocks in, of course, automatic from 24 yards. But that 10-point lead right there with minutes left, you feel really good the way the defense is playing.
And it'd be nice if it was 23 because we kicked the other field goal earlier in the game instead of just 20 to 10. I mean, that would feel a whole lot better, honestly.
Yeah.
And
it is.
I think Poole got a tip on that interception, too. I think he tipped the ball, and then it got intercepted because of his tips.
Yeah, he did.
You got hats off to that. That's not easy to do.
Oh, no. That was a dang good play by Poole. And I guess the A&M, was big on the message boards, A&M fan message boards, that they thought there was something fishy going on with that Brown interception, that maybe he didn't catch the ball. But look, he got his hands underneath it.
He caught that dang ball. He caught that ball. Oh, that was a clear catch. A&M
fans were wanting a Freedom of Information Act.
There was no bounce.
Conversation.
There was no ball bounce or question of control or anything. That was a good catch, man.
So what do they do after that? And they just can't. You know what I mean? Calzada incomplete. They got to punt the ball again. And we get Dominic Johnson a couple runs. Jefferson's back in the game.
The train.
Not much going.
Yeah. We got to come up with a nickname for Johnson. The D train.
Oh, yeah.
The D train ran it in there, man.
Yeah. So we take some time off the clock, go first down. We're taking about 4 minutes off the clock for that 10-point lead. We give the ball back to 3 minutes. 3 minutes left, and A&M just can't get anything. Poole sniffs them out. Spiller catches the ball, 2-yard loss. Spiller sucks. Calzada gets an 11-yard gain, but it doesn't matter. 4th and 1, false start on A&M because they're just rattled. And then what happens? Trey Williams gets in the backfield again, and it's over.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note the play before last where you got KJ coming back in and sucking up a bruised knee, which ain't no joke, man, and doing what he's got to do. Maybe taking a little bit of cortisone and coming out there and doing what he's got to do to finish this game off, knowing they don't feel comfortable with Hornsby, right? So, way to be tough. Way to be a tough player and play it. Everybody wants to talk about tough players, not this, that, and others. But that's tough, man. That takes some serious kahunas to come out with a bruised knee and continue to play. Because the way he took that hit, man, it was there's been people be permanently injured because of that, right? And that's generally a penalty, especially closer to the sticks. The closer you are to the sticks, the more it is a penalty to push somebody out of bounds in that way. I don't know. It was almost vague. It was almost like he did that on purpose. Like he tried the injury. I mean, I hate to say that.
Yeah, A&M's dirty. I wouldn't dismiss that, especially from a Jimbo team. But he comes back. He comes in there, man. He's able to makes a big pass play at the time of that last drive. 2 minutes left. Rocket comes in, gets a couple of nice runs for the first down. And then KJ gets a 10-yard run. He's just moving the feet, rushing the ball for another first down, and we're able at their 11-yard line instead of punching in. We kneel, but that's okay. We win the game. So
I want you to know after this game, we have the only SEC quarterback with 800 passing yards and 200 rushing yards.
Man. No.
Let me say that again. 800 passing yards and 200 rushing yards. Only SEC quarterback to do that this year. And I mean, we've all seen those quarterbacks that did it, the Tebows and the Joneses and you know who I'm talking about. The special quarterbacks. And we're able to see him break that mark at this point in the year, and that's it just shows the trajectory. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like having this dual threat quarterback. He's a weapon. He's felt more comfortable. You can see those deep throws, and hopefully he's healthy. If he's ready to go, close to 100% for this Georgia game, just gives us such a big chance.
A&M, you got your ass beat.
Good win against A&M. I mean, that was our first win over A&M in 9 tries. So
I told you we were not going to lose for a fucking decade in a row. Everybody that said we lost for a decade and all those decade articles out there can suck it. Arkansas won. We told you they were going to win. We told you why they were going to win and how they were going to win. They did it. They did it all, man. They did everything we said. Boy, Matt's got a bit of a point, man. There was a lot of issues there, but like I said, I'm still going to stick to my guns on this. I still think they watch film, they see those issues, and they correct them for the next game, and we see a better Kern in the next game than we saw in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I think Kern's going to be the starter.
And he's got potential to be special. I mean, he's got potential to be a special tight end, to be a DJ Williams type.
Yeah, he's made some big plays. There's going to be some games where we have to throw the ball more, and this might be if Georgia commits to just trying to stop our run. So this might be one where we need every bit of the pass game.
Well, are you ready to go into Georgia, man? You ready to talk about this? Because I've been waiting on this the whole day.
I'm ready for Georgia. Yeah.
Yes, man.
Please.
Here's the thing, man. I think we have an opportunity to beat Georgia, and there's a few reasons why. First reason is because of the time of the game and the fans not being as excited as they would if they could get properly liquored up. Second reason is because they're injured. Bad. Lot of injuries. That team is riddled with them, and I don't care what their media department and everybody's been saying. Like their TJ Daniels is injured, all right, and then Bennett's injured. That's their backup quarterback, both of them. We got an oblique that TJ's been dealing with all through the first few games, and it's not magically healed. He's going to try to play through it, and then you got Stetson. He's injured. His back in the game previously. So he's coming in. You got an injured backup and injured quarterback. So, I mean, you hate to see that. And, good on them for trying to play through it. But at the same time, they're not going to be 100%. So you're looking at an 85%, 95% quarterback, whether it's the backup or the starting quarterback coming in. And then you just got a myriad of other injuries from our Pickens, wide receiver. He's injured. Baylock, he's injured. Rosemary St. Jack, he's injured. Rochester's injured. Washington's injured. Tyreek Smith's injured. And that's a good DB. Arian Smith's injured. Crease Jackson's injured. Ryan Davis, Khalil Kimber, and Kwani Walker is injured. And Kwani's another, really good guy they got. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starters that are injured right now. That some of them are going to try to play through, some of them aren't. And then the rest of them, we're looking at second string, a lot of second stringers there. And then there's a few, there's a few guys that aren't on the depth chart, but most of them are. So, I don't know, man. It's an awful beat-up team. It is an awful beat-up team we're going up against. They might have lost all these games, but these teams have been beating them up that they've played. They have played them hard.
And that's crazy to say that, especially the teams they've played. You know what I mean? They've still gotten beat up, just not very healthy. I mean, wow, when you rattle those off, and look, man, if JT Daniels can't go, or if to me, he's overrated. You know what I mean? All those preseason 247 sports ranking KJ the last quarterback, Daniels maybe number 2 behind Corral or whatever. He's overrated. I've never been impressed by Daniels. If he's banged up, doesn't impress me one bit. And their backup is Stetson Bennett. Just the name, Stetson Bennett. So I don't.
Sounds like he's all from The Ranch. Remember that show, The Ranch, with Colt?
Yeah. And you look at our injury report, and Gerald, he's been out all season anyways, whatever. KJ Jefferson with the knee, obviously, and then Dalton Wagner, but he played. But he's going to play. He played against A&M, so we're good there compared to them. We've got.
Yeah. When it comes to our injuries, I think I should address that. Ben, I'm bringing up their injuries. Is the biggest thing you're looking at with us is our running back and our quarterback that went out. Running back's good. Sam Pittman said he's good, and then the quarterback's good. Sam Pittman said he's good. Now, is KJ going to be playing through a bruised knee? Yes, he is. He bruised his knee. We know this is a fact. We know he had a bruised knee. We know we have no injury as far as X-rays and stuff like that goes, but we are dealing with a nasty bruise. Does that heal in a week? No. So we're looking at a 95% KJ probably. I don't know. I don't think it affects us as much as it does them, because we're also getting our running back who's going to be 100% for this game, right? With them, you're looking at tight end, you're looking at wide receivers, and you're looking at defensive backs that are injured pretty significantly, and even though they're going to play through some of them, there's still injuries that are they're going to be a little bit worse than what we're dealing with, and we're just dealing with a couple guys.
Yeah, that makes me does feel better. So I feel really good about that. So I feel bad for them injured, but that makes me feel even more confident.
So that's number 2. That's the second reason I think we can beat Georgia. Number 3, The reason we can beat Georgia is because Sam Pittman. All right, and I'm not just talking about how he gets the guys fired up and all that stuff. Everybody's going to write those articles and say those things in the media because they ain't got nothing else to talk about right now, and that's what they're going to do, right? But I'm talking about how Sam Pittman worked with Kirby Smart, how he was Kirby Smart's right-hand man, how he knows exactly how he breaks down film, how he prepares for games, exactly what he does, his relationship against him, and then also his relationship with the rest of the team there. Even when it comes to the Ole Miss coach that went over there, Luke, that's the offensive line coach. Even when it comes to that, Pittman has a relationship with everybody. He understands exactly how this team is going to attack and break everything down, and that means that he can attack tendencies that a lot of other coaches would not be able to attack, and that's huge. That's huge. It's not. It's like, I don't know. I guess you see it a lot with Saban, and everybody's always like, can one of Saban's assistants beat him? But I don't know. Well, you're fixing to see it with Pittman, I think, because he's just so smart. I think he's been sitting there in those meeting rooms and taking notes and getting ready, and he knows this is my time. I've pulled in all this knowledge and information, from all these people, and this is my time to exploit it and use it against them.
I like that point. I think that's a good point. I think Pittman's ready for this game. Man, we had the 7-5 lead over them at halftime last year. I remember being so excited. So excited at halftime last year. But we just didn't have the team good enough last year. We just did not have the team that was capable of beating the Georgia team. Georgia's just as good as they were last year. But we're a lot better.
They're not as good as they were last year. All right, and then next is the... like you said, the way we played them last year, how well we played them, and like looking at that game and how we fought them really well through the first, half. I just think we have it. We have it all this year. We're going to be able to finish the game where we couldn't finish it last year. I don't think it's going to be a problem, and I don't think we had the confidence that we had last year that we have right now, and we know. Like, we are a dang good team. We've beat, Texas. We've beat Texas A&M, and we are a really good Arkansas team. We're going to play Georgia, and I think Pittman's telling them, like, we can win this game. Guys, we can win it. I used to coach with these guys, and here's what we're going to do. And they love him, man. They're going to buy into it 100%, man. 100%. So... I think that's another reason. It's just how well we played them the last game, and that we have experience against them. Even though it's losing experience, we do have that experience, and we're able to look back at that and see how each player played, and our coaches are able to make the adjustments and say, look, you did this when you played this guy. You played a little bit too far out, this, that, and other. You need to come in a little bit, maybe we're going to play one technique or something, who knows, right? But they make those adjustments off of that game. I think that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think we're seeing kind of benefits us from playing them last year. Kind of the same players. I mean, everybody really besides, Felipe Franks last year. I think, no offense against Felipe, I appreciate what he did last year. Helped this program take a step. But KJ is better than him. So far what we've seen. And this whole team's better, a lot better. We're a lot better than we were last year. Mm-hmm. But we have a lot of guys that aren't going to be scared to go play that. It's the first road game of the season. Didn't have a whole lot of big time road experience last year, but we've seen it before. This ain't gonna. I don't think this atmosphere. I don't think Georgia's known as just a wild and crazy anyway, especially 11. So that's gonna be no problem. I think we're gonna take that and probably take that underdog role. I think Pittman's an underdog guy, and I think the team through what it's went for. I think all these guys. I don't think we'd have 8, 9 super seniors, guys coming back for an even extra year if they didn't. If they were going to be, afraid to play in this atmosphere and step up to the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you 100%. And then, the next thing you got is their offensive line. So let's talk about their offensive line a little bit. Their offensive line is now a smaller offensive line. They are a pass protection offensive line, and they have the Luke, the Ole Miss head coach over there.
Oh yeah.
And was he hired because he's a great offensive line coach, or because he was once a head coach? Probably because he was a head coach. Let's be honest. Yeah. And the thing about it is that he's actually came out and told everybody, and it's been in the news and everything. It's well documented. You can go look it up. That he has dropped the players' weights and things like that, and he's trying to play with a faster, more agile offensive line. The same crap that Chad Morris did, right? Yeah. And while they're not teeny tiny itty bitty offensive line like we had with Morris, it's definitely a smaller line than we've ever seen at Georgia, ever. And that is what they're focusing on. And if you look at the rushing yards, they haven't rushed the ball very much this year, and they've been throwing, and it's kind of that's kind of the team they're trying to have. But I just feel like Arkansas has already said, like, we're not gonna let that happen. We already saw that with A&M. I mean, A&M had a really good wide receiver crew, really good quarterback, and 100%, didn't come in with like an injury, didn't come in with the oblique being messed up or a back injury, right? And we took advantage of it, and so whenever now you're looking at somebody that's not 100% and they're trying to run away, they're trying to elude that 3-man rush we got up front, just crazy. I don't know, man. I think that's another check mark in the column of like Matt Luke sucks and his philosophy sucks and it's dumb and everybody's tried it before. We've seen it firsthand at Arkansas. It did not work, and I think that's another check mark. And this is a way that Arkansas can beat them. And Matt Luke has not recruited as well as Pittman did when he was coach there, and that's also, Kirby Smart said that. What kind of pressure is that when Kirby Smart's coming out and saying that, and then you're playing that team? Man, wouldn't it suck? Get fired from a head coaching position and an assistant position? Good Lord.
Yeah, Smart was really reaching for somebody after Pittman left. Pittman was known as one of the best offensive. He wouldn't have been at Georgia. He wouldn't have been the best offensive line coach in America. Great recruiter, and they have to fall towards Matt Luke. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said they got him because he had head coaching experience. The reason he was the head coach was Ole Miss was left in shambles after Hugh Freeze cheated and just disappeared. All the vacated wins from those couple years, and then they hired. Okay, who are we going to hire on the cheap? Who's going to give him a chance? And it's Matt Luke who played for Ole Miss, and he's Matt Luke. And like you're saying, I can't dropping weight. And you look at their line. I think one senior in the rest. You got some freshmen playing on there, maybe a sophomore. Not a whole lot of experience. This is kind of what we took advantage of with Texas A&M.
And you see a height drop also. It's not just weight drop. It's also a height drop, which that's from recruiting. That's not being able to get the best, the tallest, most athletic guy.
Yeah, and another thing you were talking about is, and I noticed this earlier in the week. I'm thinking you look at these scores that they've had this year. 10-3, whatever, 56-7, 40-13, 6-2-0. You're going to think Georgia's already eclipsed, quite a few rushing yards. And I know they've given 4 or 5 guys decent amount of carries, but Zamir White, who's supposed to be the, one of the best running backs in the league, and you're thinking they're going to run the ball being up that much, and he's averaging 51 yards a game. Backup guys are averaging like 30 yards a game. So they just haven't been as successful running the ball. And also, let's talk a little bit about now the defense is obviously their strength. They allow 5 points a game. But here's the thing with the defense thus far this year. Clemson, all right, they give up 3 points. Okay, Clemson, oh wow, they've offensive team or whatever under Dabo the last couple of years. They're ranked 121st in offense. Out of like 121st in offense. So great. What did Georgia do in that game, allowing 3 points? That's embarrassing. UAB, they gave up 7. UAB's ranked 79th. All right, and that's the best offense they've played through 4 games.
And let me since you're pointing this out, I want to point out one other thing here too, because this is another reason that I had like we can beat. And it just kind of goes with what you're saying. So I just wanted to point it out. But we can beat Georgia because they're always throwing the damn ball to Browers. You just stop Browers and you're good to go. You look at every damn game and he's the top receiver, right? Whether it's Daniels or Bennett, it don't matter. It's obvious that they're targeting Browers more than anybody else. So you stop him and you're like, you shut him down. You got to shut him down. You got to do what you have to do to shut Browers down.
Yeah, and we've got the linebackers and defensive backs that can match up with him. Yeah, that's all. He's had 18 catches, 272, 4 touchdowns. Really good tight end numbers. He's pretty good. But then you got Burton and some of these guys. Mitch just drop a big drop off from what that don't have an AJ Green. Don't have some of these big time receivers that Georgia's had in the past that you'd really think a lot of. And then let's see, South Carolina 115th in offense. and Vanderbilt 123rd in offense. So yeah, you're giving up 6 points a game. That's pretty good no matter who you play. But these offenses are terrible.
Oh my God! Look who you played. You played UAB, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. What are you talking about? Right? The only test you got is Clemson. The Clemson game's a real game.
They just lost. They're out of the top 25. They're not as good as they were.
They've been getting their ass handed to them.
Yeah.
I watched the game the other night where they just got handed. Yeah. They just got whipped by.
They can't score against anybody.
They just got whipped like the School of the Blind or something. I don't even remember who it was. It was a horrible team. I was watching the other night, and I was like, really? Are they fixing to beat Clemson? And hell yeah, they did, man. Right there. That was, North Carolina, right? Or was it North Carolina State?
Yeah, North Carolina State. Yeah, North Carolina State.
I mean, it wasn't even North Carolina. They were definitely, not, they were not, top material. They were not, awesome, material. Arkansas would definitely beat Clemson right now. Definitely. Easily.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And that was a 10-3 game. The damn game was 10-3.
Yeah, that was an awful game. I remember watching that because it was the first week. It was supposed to be a great game. That was one of the worst games I still watched it, but that was one of the worst games I've ever seen. And Clemson almost lost to them, Georgia Tech, and they beat them 14-8. Just 14 points against them. I mean, just a sad embarrassment. Arkansas is the toughest team they've played this year, and we're not. And you see Georgia's 50-something points off turnovers. Well, we don't turn the ball over very much. It's very rare Arkansas turns the ball over. So we take care of the ball. So what are you going to do, Georgia?
What are you going to do? You're going to just throw it to Bowers every time? You're going to throw it to Bowers every single time, which is what you've been doing. So we're just going to shut him down. We're coming after you. You got a hurt quarterback that's going to be limping around, whether it's number 1 or number 2. And you got a pass rush that's coming. That's coming. It has been all year. Every team we've played. So, I mean, look, let's just say this. We got to say this. I got to preface that with this is, their offense is weaker than their defense. Their defense is something else. It is really good. They got some injuries on their defense. Okay, yes, they have some injury positions on their defense also. But it's mainly in secondary, third, and their defense is just phenomenal. So we're going to see 100%, Georgia defense, and we're going to have to overcome that. We're going to have to figure out how are we going to move the ball down the field and score against that. I mean, we got Kendall Briles, man. It's going to be all right. You're going to go. You're going to score. You're going to score first, and you're going to score fast.
Yeah, they've got their defensive line, probably the best unit on that defense. You got a preseason All-American, Jordan Davis, fifth-year guy, Devontae Wyatt. They've already won Player of the Week this year. They got Trayvon Walker, Carter, Walthau. They're good. That's what they're kind of known for. Defenses. I read off some of those, but still, you're averaging giving up 5 points a game. That's really good against anybody.
Yeah,
got a senior and a couple of juniors on their linebackers. So they still. Yeah, it's still.
The youngest guy they got is the freshman that rotates out, Ringo. So.
Yeah. So that's
they run that same defense we're running, that 3-6 job. It's just it's crazy, man. I can't believe these teams are running that this day and age in this league. Which 10 years ago in the SEC, if you told us we were going to have a 3-man defensive lineman, good Lord.
They're going to run all over you.
You can do that for passing. You can do that for passing downs, or every down.
3rd and 10.
No, every down.
Bring in the nickel back. 3rd down and 12. Well, I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good. It's going to be tough.
I've been impressed with.
Nation.
I've been impressed. I'm impressed with Pittman. I'm impressed with the defensive coach, the offensive coach, everybody. I'm impressed with the defense we're running. Like, man, I like it. I'm starting to like it. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm liking it. And I don't know if I'd have said that at the beginning of the year, but it's working. It's doing what it needs to do. And as long as it continues to do that, that's all that matters, man. As long as you're getting the results, Maybe it's the superior defense. Maybe we should have been running this the whole time.
Well, you got to have those defensive linemen that provide the rush. And Trey Williams has obviously been a beast. Ridgeway, Utsy, these guys are awesome, man. Those transfer portal guys they got were so big. The new defensive line coach, Ashley, this year has made a big difference. So when you get a pass rush with those guys, it's easy to do because you're seeing these quarterbacks we play just sit back there and have nobody to throw it to. So we've got 6 damn defensive backs. We've got good linebackers, either blitzing or athletic enough to play out there, and then you've got those 5 or 6 defensive backs that's covering them up that are experienced and know these offenses. Mm-hmm. So it makes it really hard on the quarterback.
That's true. So anyway, that right there is 5 reasons that I've come up with that I think we have to win this game. Do you have any more, Tim, that you can think of other than my 5 that I came up with?
I think those are really, really good 5. I'll give you a 6th one. Their head coach is named Kirby. That's what I got. I don't know, man. When I looked at it, they're not. I don't know. It's just Georgia. They just haven't. They've been really high ranked for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. They haven't won a championship since 1980. I don't think this is going to be the team to do it. They just don't have an explosive offense. Their defense is good, but we haven't really. I don't know. They've still got some young areas on the defense too that I think we can attack. They've got some injuries. I didn't realize how many injuries since you brought that up. But there's a lot of. I know the South Carolina coach. Shane Beamer, he was asked after their game, hey, what did Georgia do against you? And he said, they've got all the 5 stars. They're talented across the board. You know what I mean? So they're a really talented team. Kirby's a good coach. Look at his record. He was under Saban. He's had some really good. He's a defensive coach, so that's what they're going to be known for. But for some reason, Georgia just hadn't been able to figure out how to be an explosive offensive team. And I think with their rushing attack, just not so impressive. Not a big-time running back. They don't have Gurley or Swift or some of these guys they've had in the past. And even if they did, look what we've done to big-time running backs that are going to get drafted in the NFL. Robinson for Texas, Spiller for A&M. Well, they didn't do anything. Yeah. They got nowhere, and I feel pretty good. But I thought your 5 were really good reasons, and it's hard not to be excited. Early in the season, I picked one. We were picking games. I think this is one I gave us a loss to, but I'm not sure I'll do that when we do the scores. But very exciting. I'm ready.
You got your preseason picks, and then you got your in-season picks, and then they are what they are. I tell you what. Look, guys. Here's the thing. Everybody out there, Razorback Nation, we got Georgia. We got Ole Miss. We're halfway through the year. We're almost halfway through the year undefeated. All right, we're 4-0. We're going to play Georgia. We're ranked 8th, and we've been ranked well below every team we've beat so far. So ranking ain't got nothing to do with it. All right,
nope.
I can see this being one of those UCF years or whatnot, where people are just like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." Except for our coach won't leave when he wins the championship because we're the University of Arkansas and it's a good damn place to be. We're a proud damn state. So
it's a dream, man. He said this is the only one he was thinking about retirement. He's got that good, nice job at Georgia. This is the one he tried, man. It really good hire by Yurchek. It's
good hire.
Out.
Good hire.
You're jealous, man. Can you imagine some of these? You got Look, Lane Kiffin was a guy we talked about for Ole Miss, and he's been pretty good. But gosh, some of these other names, like Mike Leach, he sucks down at Mississippi State. He's a terrible person. And you got Pittman out here. We've already talked about how good of a person he is on and off the field. I'm so proud to have him, man.
Me
this
too.
Is a guy. Just a great hire, and it's just working out. You can tell the players love him. He's really I don't know, man. He's loved by everybody. I think he's just really easy to like, and he seems honest and really down to earth, and guy you can really get behind. And like you're saying, we're 4 games in. We're about to be on our 5th, almost halfway through the season. I'm trying to. It's hard, just football season, especially when we're good. You just want to get to Saturdays. So I'm trying to enjoy this ride. I'm trying to enjoy it. I mean, I am, but I'm trying to just take it slowly. And
if we win a national championship, it's going to be the fastest year we've ever had. It really is. You're going to be looking back like, where'd it go, man? Like, how are these things? Let's rewatch these games. I don't know. Here's the thing, man. I think with Georgia, man, what an opportunity do we have? I mean, how do the stars line up? For us to win this game. I don't think they have to. I think that we have a coach that knows them and can take advantage of them. I think we have a defensive line that's going to be able to take advantage of this small offensive line. We've seen it. We've called it before, and we're right 95% of the time when we say this kind of shit. I think that we're going to be able to run the ball well against this defense because they do like to kind of hang back and try to stop the big, explosion. And I think if they creep up on us, we'll be able to explode over the top of them. I think that we have the team this year to beat Georgia when they're ranked number 2 in the nation. I think we can do it. I definitely think we can. And I think the thing with Pittman, like you were saying, was he's just such a genuine person. He's just such a good guy, and to be on the right side of history with everything he does, in my opinion, is just awesome. But, I think that Pittman is a very smart coach. And I think we can't just he fires the guys up and they'll run through a brick wall for him and blah, 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 blah. No. I think he's smart. I think he reminds me. I'm going to take you back. And I'm going to say he reminds me of a Houston Nutt. I'm going to say he reminds me of a Lou Holtz. I'm going to say he reminds me of a coach from the University of Arkansas that can do well at the University of Arkansas. And it's just there's a swagger. There's a way that they think. There's a way they call certain plays. And you just get this feeling and you just know, like, this coach can win here. And then there's other coaches where it's like he's not the guy, But I think Pittman is. I think he's the guy. I think what we see is him adjust to this Georgia team and to play them very, very well. We're going to definitely play them better when we've played them than anything they've seen all year. 10-3, it's probably going to be more like a 20-24 game, however it goes. But golly, what an exciting Saturday we have coming up. What a great coach we have. I think we have better coaches than Georgia. I think Pittman is a better coach than Kirby Smart. I think Kirby Smart knew that when he hired Pittman as his offensive line coach. He said, this guy's a winning coach. This guy I need. This guy I need to get over the top of Alabama. Right? That's why I hired him. So he knows he's a tremendously smart guy. And I just think that Pittman is going to do all the things necessary. He's going to I don't know. I hate to say like all the stars align this week because I honestly feel like we could be the better team here. I honestly feel like Georgia might not be the best team. That's crazy to say after watching these games and seeing everything and all, and we're not blowing people out. They've been blowing people out, so I don't know. I guess we're fixing to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out real soon. And with kind of you talk about the stars aligning, like if you think about it, yes, we do have some young pieces that are going to be back next year, but we also have a lot of upperclassmen. And this is what time, and we also have two coordinators that could be head coaches pretty soon. And Odom's, I feel like he's going to, if his defense keeps playing like this, he's going to get a chance. And Kendall Browse is going to get a chance to become a head coach. Mm-hmm. So this is like no better time than now to really have a special season with all these with these coaches and with these players, with this quarterback. Hell, this is KJ's third year. I mean, if he has such a good season, how many more years are we going to have with KJ? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Burks is going to the NFL next year. We've got a lot of experienced guys. This is the time to really take advantage. What does this special season do? I know all the recruiting gurus have already said, Pack has been recruits. You can obviously tell that after you win big game stages, you're going to get a lot more presence. We're going to get better players and keep on building this program. But this can be a special season. Like we are in the middle of a really special season. No matter what happened, look, I'm not going to bet my whole house on us winning this game against Georgia, but I think we got a really good shot. And the season ain't over if we lose to Georgia.
You know what? Since you said that,
I think Georgia has more to lose.
Since you said you're not going to bet your whole house on this, Tim, I'm going to give you a seventh reason after our six that we're going to beat, or we could beat. Because I shouldn't say we're gonna, but we could beat Georgia. And I'll tell you why it is. Because the coaching staff is so much better than their coaching staff. I mean, they're just ridiculously better. They really are. You got Pittman, who just really has a strong understanding of how to run a team. And then you have, coaches like Browse, you got coaches like Odom, who are very good coaches and can, definitely be at the top echelon of the program. And these guys have the ability to outcoach, the other teams that they play. So having that, strong coaching pedigree helps you out a lot. And it puts you in a place where you could actually just outmaneuver the other teams. And I think we definitely have, those types of coaches here at the University of Arkansas. I think if we see anybody leave, I think it's going to be Kendall. We'll see him leave. But hopefully he stays around. Maybe he stays around. But the biggest thing that you have to think about is how their salaries are contracted. Right? People don't think about this. And this is number 6 right here. The salaries are contracted in such a way that if Coach Pittman wins 6 games, I believe it is, he gets $250,000 a year added to his contract every year moving forward. Like, all he's got to do is win 6 games. That's a lot of money. And then if he wins like 8 games or 9 games, I believe it is, something like that. I can't remember which one exactly, but it's 8 or 9. Then he gets almost $3 million a year added because of how it adds up to his contract. So he's not just playing. And we've said this in the podcast a while back with these goofy contracts. We said, why don't you pay somebody for how they win? and see how they do. And I guarantee you they'll do better, right? And that's exactly what they're doing with it. And if he can win so many games, he gets like $3 million this year. Not this year, every year, like added on to his contract. Like, man, I mean, obviously his contract will be renegotiated, and it'll be more like a Nick Saban contract or something, especially if he wins out this year, you know, or even just beats Georgia this year, right? Because you know that's just how it'll work. But still, at the same time, like he's probably got it in the back of his mind. Like, what if it's not? What if it's not renegotiated? What if like Yurichek is like, no, we're hurting financially, and this is what we agreed to. You know, he's like a team player. He's like, hey, that's all right. Get those other goofballs paid off, and we'll do what we got to do. I can see that too. I can see him being a team player and doing that. And just being like, I'll take my $3 million increase or whatever that we agreed to in this last contract. But that's another reason is Pittman's playing for money. He's not just playing for winning, right? He's playing for money. Every time he wins, he gets a little bit more added on to his paycheck year to year.
Yeah, I love that incentive. I mean, the coaching contracts have gotten crazy with how much we paid the last guy for nothing, for absolutely nothing. He got paid $2 million for each win.
Goodness gracious.
For a win against Colorado State at home, Portland State. That's what the last guy got paid. Pittman's making something for an SEC coach 2021, but his incentives are fair. He's got a chance. That's how it should be. Kudos to Yurichek for doing that, and kudos for Pittman for believing in himself for doing that. He's going to deserve to get paid more. And I mean, when Arkansas wins, more money's going to flow in. Money's going to pour in even more to a Razorback football program when we're winning. So we're going to have money to do that, and hopefully keep Odom and Briles. If you keep, I think Pittman would trade a little bit to keep those guys high paid and on the staff.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
You never know. He might trade a lot. We might not lose anybody. He might be like when he renegotiates. He might be like, well, you got to renegotiate my my coordinators first. I mean, he's a smart guy, and I just feel like if we lost either one of them today, we would backfill that position with somebody just as good. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Especially if we have a special type of year. Let's say we lose to Georgia. We beat Ole Miss, Auburn, UAPB, Mississippi State, LSU, lose Alabama, and we beat Missouri. Let's just say that's we take 2 losses this year. We don't quite make the playoffs. Let's say we lose to, maybe a Mississippi State, just some weird game that we shouldn't lose, right in the middle of it even, and have 3 losses. Like that, we're still doing very well. We're still where we need to be as a team.
That's still, that's a pretty good season. I was thinking, let's make we talk about preseason. Where does it have to be to at least be successful? Be a bowl game, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right now, we're definitely going to get at least 2 more wins at this point. 8 wins would be really good. So
at this point, like, we should not lose more than 3 games. If we lost more than 3 games, I would be really damn disappointed. Really disappointed. And
we get to number 8 in the nation that does that.
Like, if we just started losing at this point, I would, and it's not going to happen. It's just not. We're just a really good team. I just don't think Ole Miss is as good as everybody thinks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're fixing to find out. We're going to find out this weekend.
It's Ole Miss.
Woo. Yeah. What if Ole Miss beats Alabama?
Yeah.
And we beat Georgia. Does Ole Miss play Georgia?
I couldn't imagine. I'm sure
I bet they don't.
Ole Miss is good. I'm sure.
If we lose to Georgia, we still have a chance at a championship.
Oh yeah.
If we win out, so even if we lose this game, we're not out of the national championship run. If we win this game, we're definitely in the run. We're definitely in the running for national championship. We beat Georgia. Like,
No, Ole Miss gets Tennessee and Vanderbilt as their East opponent. Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
that's such a wow. I'd take a Tennessee or a Vandy.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine playing Vandy this week, 4-0, getting Tennessee or Vanderbilt this week? Just like we're going to 5-0. I mean, just
knowing you got that win.
Golly, man, just like.
Whew.
But what a win! Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you think our ranking will be if we beat Georgia? Number 2? I mean, we replaced them, right? Wouldn't we replace them as the number 2 team in the nation?
I think they would rank us
They'll
at...
still put Bama. They'll still put Bama up there, but...
I think they would rank us at 5. Looking
bad.
at depending upon the losses or whatnot, Georgia's definitely fallen. We're 8th now. I think they move us to 5 just because we're SEC school. Maybe Georgia falls to 6th best because they're going to be like, oh, we got to give them opportunity to jump Arkansas. Something happens, And then if we beat Ole Miss, I think we're ranked at 4, and we'll probably hold that 4th ranking even if we beat Auburn, UAB, and Mississippi State, and we'll be going into LSU like ranked 4th and whatever LSU's ranked at the time. Maybe we're bumped up to 3 if we beat LSU, and then go into Alabama number 3 and the number 1 team in the nation.
It's crazy. Now we're talking. I can't wait.
Oh,
I can't wait. Oh.
So I think we need to do some official. We need to do official picks, man. I think we've talked about it. We've beat a dead horse into the ground about how we feel like these are the things that we can do to beat Georgia. We've talked about their team. We've. I mean, everything that I know that we normally do. I think we've done. Did we miss anything?
Right.
Did you need to talk about special teams or anything like that? They have a
oh no
superstar out there. I bet they ain't gonna way better than Little.
No, they don't. I've got my pick.
Let's hear it, man.
I've got Arkansas 27, Georgia 24.
Woo! Woo pig.
Woo pig. It's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to say Arkansas 27, Georgia 24. I think that's it, man. I think that's the score.
That's it. Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank, man.
I'm putting that out on our official Twitter page.
I honestly think that we can beat Georgia. I honestly think that we're the better team than Georgia. And if they do beat us, I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think they run away with it in the second half or anything like they've done before. I think we're fixing to show everybody just how good we are. And I think we're going to play a team that's not 100%. And that's going to help us out a little bit. Do with that what you will. Will we beat Alabama after beating a bruised up, beaten up Georgia team? I don't know. That would be. I still don't know if I can pick us to beat Alabama.
Tough. What a big game that'll be. Honestly, at that point too, it's like, well, screw it, man. If you lose to Alabama, you're still one loss. You probably could sneak into that 4th playoff spot, and you don't have to play an extra game in the SEC championship. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, bleep it. You know what I mean? We're gonna be, as long as everybody else has a bunch of losses too. But it feels like if we went through that schedule when we were 11-1.
No, I got you, man. I agree 100%.
I was putting official predictions on the internet, so everybody out there respond.
All right, so we did it. We predicted the game. We broke it down. We talked about like why we thought we could win. Whew. I'm just gonna say it, man. I don't think it's a crazy prediction. I think that I don't know. I think Trey Biddy should have predicted Arkansas to win. I don't understand how you like looked at all this information and then still went with Georgia. I respect the guy, man. I like his stuff, but goodness.
Yeah.
I think he missed the mark on that one.
I do too. Oh man, I'm excited.
So how's the all right? So all right, we need to talk about hockey. So we got that. Went and we played Oklahoma. Split the series with a Division I team. It was like 0-4 the first game, and I think we even like scored a goal the second game, but still got beat. It was like a low scoring game. So I don't know, man. I think, I don't know. Do we get beat again? Do you think Arkansas will get beat again after playing a Division I school that close for the rest of the year?
Oh, you feel like they might drop one every somewhere. I don't know. That's a really good. That was a really good performance there, especially on the road against a D1 team. You think we take care of business? At least, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for us to lose again. It really is. Like I feel like we could win a lot of these games the rest of the year. We might not. But still 3-1.
Yeah, they're both on YouTube.
Our rivals, Dallas Baptist, this weekend down in Texas,
and
then we also play one against North Texas. Big weekend again for hockey.
And it's all on YouTube. So go on YouTube and watch some of this hockey, man. It is exciting. It is fun to watch. Golly, I wish they would do a little better job of updating their statistics and stuff. Yeah, help us promote the team a little bit, But it is what it is, I don't know. Maybe Matt will come on and give us a good rundown of it,
Well, I hope so.
So I don't know. I think we got a good chance. I think we got a chance not to lose another game in hockey. That's what I'm going to predict. I think we're going. I mean, we're basically the Alabama of hockey around our league, So I think we win a national championship this year in hockey. Mark it on your calendar.
The year.
I think so. We've been knocking on the door, We've been there. We've been playing in the playoffs, and I think this is it, man. I think it all comes together.
I have to agree. Decide where the season goes. It's a long way to go, though.
Yep.
We were right there last year, so there's no reason not for me to argue.
Well, how about basketball? I mean, we got to talk about that, right? Like, we got to talk about that pickup. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, really good pickup. Nick Smith committed to us last night. Number 6 player in the nation, 5-star combo guard. So that recruiting class already has 2 other really good 4-star guards from Arkansas, Ford and Pinion, and then I think they also got the Alabama State Player of the Year. So really good recruiting class, and it may not be over yet. So much just keeps rolling. Season starts in about a month and a half. So
football teams winning, man. Everybody wants to come when football teams winning. Basketball, everything. Good Lord. My goodness. Did you see, what was that? You shared a text message with me. It was about the University of Arkansas and their athletic programs and everybody that was in the top 10. And I swear there was most programs in the top 10 right now. That was crazy.
Yeah,
it was like 3 of them that won.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like the highest ranking for any of the sports where, Baseball got to number 1. Men's indoor track number 1. Golf, women's golf number 1. Women's indoor track number 1. Women's outdoor track number 2. Women's cross country number 4. Gymnastics number 5. Softball got to number 5. Cross country number 6. Soccer number 7. Football's at 8. Men's basketball finished number 8. Men's golf number 8. Men's outdoor track number 8. Women's basketball number 10. Swimming and diving 20. Women's tennis 20. Men's tennis 26. And volleyball not ranked. So, but wow, what an athletics program.
Just amazing, man.
And volleyball's not like bad. They're not cellar dwellers. So, but I mean, just everybody, every sport. And of course, that didn't even include hockey, national runner-up. So, number 2.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, when are we gonna get hockey on campus? Like, why hasn't Yurichek like started that? I don't know if anybody's even. I wonder if anybody's even suggested it to Yurichek. Has he even thought about it? Like, sounds like Yurichek sounds like the type of guy that like hockey, kind of Russian-y, you know?
Yeah, he seems like from part of the country that is more into hockey.
I don't know.
I like to see it done. I like to see him play on campus at Barnhill.
Get him at Barnhill, man. Make him a D1 team. Let's play Oklahoma yearly. Let's make that a, I mean, we're good enough. We're good enough to be a D1 team. We're good enough to be playing at Barnhill. They're good enough to move from club to D1 and hold their own. Maybe that's what they're not understanding. I don't know.
Could you imagine being a student that lived on campus and going down to Barnhill on like Friday night, like night before a football game, just tearing Barnhill up, getting rowdy.
And wouldn't be any more of these hockey games the same time as a football game either. That wouldn't happen anymore.
No. Yeah, that's crazy.
So people would pack it, man. The student section would be wild. Banging on the glass.
Just
come on, your check, man. Help them out. Let's do it, man. Let's make it official. Sorry.
Let's do it.
Well, what do we need to do next? We need to talk about fantasy?
Got fantasy and picks left. Take your pick on the wheel of Hog Call Podcast topic. Let's go fantasy. All right. Fantasy, let's see. Last week, we had EV Dobb beat Florida Hog 169-107. Big Wiener Bandits edged out Team Hog Call. I mean, wow. 189.58 to 189.14. What a matchup.
Gosh, dog, man.
And you had me, Pit Boss, score a season high 227 and beat Hogstradamus. Pick it up, D-Rock. 227-108. And you got Run Like a Razorback beat Maynard 161-152. So the standings look like Run Like a Razorback beat and Maynard 3-1. Pit Boss, Hog Call, EV Dobb 2-team, FL Hog, and Hogstradamus 1-3 and 0-4 respectively. I don't know why I laugh every time I read Big Wiener Bandits part. Duh. Crazy. So that's a pretty good. So this week we got Team Hog Call versus Team EV Dobb. Battle 2-2s trying to get to a third win. Pit Boss versus Team FL Hog. Run Like a Razorback versus Big Wiener Bandits. Big 3-1 matchup. And then Maynard against Hogstradamus. Hogstradamus, pick it up, bud. Show some respect for this league.
Golly. How about that? Well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. Man, Hogstradamus, what a name. How you gonna lose like that with that type of... It's time to make some changes, do a couple moves, whatever you need to do, man.
Gotta get out there, Hogstradamus. We got a long ways though, man. Not really. Playoffs start week 12. I mean, college football is shorter than NFL. So we got 6 more weeks of Hog Call Podcast Fantasy regular season, and I mean it's a tight race for the playoffs.
I felt
So
good,
don't be
man.
an easy win.
I felt like I was easily going to win this week, and then it didn't happen. And
I mean you lost 0.44 of a point. I mean,
well, it should have been a blowout, right? Like both teams shouldn't have. Golly. It's all because KJ got hurt.
that's very truthful. He finished with 21 points, and all you needed was, I mean you would have beat him if not for that.
Oh gosh, how ridiculous is that?
You got Georgia's defense, so I don't know how you feel about that this week.
Well, probably they're a good defense, so
that's a good defense to have.
Hold on to them. Even a bad week's gonna be a good week with them.
Oh yeah, if it's a bad week this week, then you're like, I don't care about fantasy.
How are we doing on our picks? Did I catch up, or am I still horribly getting slaughtered still?
Yeah, last week you went 7-7. I went 10-3.
Good Lord, man!
31 wins to 34 wins.
Oof.
I've had a pretty good year so far.
31 to 34 were that close?
39 to 34.
Oh.
Still pretty close.
Damn, man. Not as close as I thought.
You ready for this week?
Yeah, man.
All right. God. Houston at Tulsa.
Houston.
I'll go Houston as well. Iowa at Maryland.
Iowa.
Okay. I'll go Maryland here. Duke at UNC.
Let's go UNC.
Okay, I'll go North Carolina as well. Michigan at Wisconsin.
Let's go with Michigan.
Okay, I'll go Michigan too. Pitt at Georgia Tech.
Let's go Pitt.
Okay, I'll go Georgia Tech. Tennessee at Missouri.
Man,
that's
what shit games, dude. Let's go with Missouri. Yeah, I think Missouri can beat Tennessee.
I'll go with drunk wits too and go Missouri. I was sitting there that day. We were talking about some of the coaches. Harsin for Auburn. He also got Drinkwitz over at Missouri. Just watching him coach the last week, I think they were playing Boston College. Just like, my lord, we did right not hiring him. What a goober. He's just a goober. I don't know. Texas at TCU.
Texas, yeah, Texas definitely beat them.
Texas, yeah. Cincinnati at Notre Dame.
Let's go Notre Dame.
Okay. I'll go Cincinnati. Ole Miss at Bama. Or Bama at Ole Miss, I forgot where.
Bama.
Whatever. Yeah, it don't matter. I'll go Bama as well. Florida at Kentucky.
Florida. It's not really even.
I'll go Florida too.
Poor old Kentucky's gonna get embarrassed by them probably.
Yeah.
I know everybody's high on the hog on Kentucky, but
that game is. I was thinking that was at Ole Miss. That is in Alabama. My lord, that's gonna be butt whipping. Baylor at Baylor at Oklahoma State.
Baylor, Oklahoma State. Whew. Oklahoma State. It's hard to pick the rapey schools.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about it. I don't like that coach from Okie State either. Should have left that one off there. Anyways, Mississippi State at Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'll go A&M there too.
Jimbo.
Auburn at LSU.
LSU.
Yeah, I'll go LSU too. Arizona State at UCLA.
Man, let's go UCLA.
I'll go UCLA there too. Fresno State at Hawaii.
Man, I always want the Rainbow Warriors to win, but I'm gonna pick Fresno.
Yeah, I am too. It might be a good one though. At Hawaii. Fresno's pretty good.
I like Hawaii, dude. I think Hawaii just needs the right coach or something. I don't know. I just think Hawaii needs somebody to come in there and just like revamp that program. They need somebody that just needs to come in there and just needs to. I don't know. I just think that could be a really good program if they reworked it.
It has. It has been too. It has been. Just not here recently, but it has been a really good program. I hope they get back to winning 10 games a year.
Exactly.
That's it. That concludes our picks for the week.
Well, I tell you, man, I don't know that we have anything else to talk about.
Woo! What a podcast. I know we got some compliments after last week. Hopefully that was good too. That felt good. That felt like a good one.
It did feel good. I feel like our podcasts have been really good the last few weeks. I appreciate everybody that has hung in there and listened to them. You know, all you guys. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just appreciate you coming along with us for the ride every week. And, you know, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep going. And listen, if you know somebody you think like the podcast, share it with them. Let them know, right? Because we're still trying to recover from the whole Beatles suing us situation. We're about, I would say, 25% to back what we had previously before that situation hit us. So we'll get there, man. It's coming.
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, I want to say again, appreciate everybody listening. Yeah, if we were doing the podcast for 2-2-10, we started when we were 2-10. If we made it through those years, we're not going to stop when we're top 10.
Oh, man, and then you got basketball and everything else. It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be fun, for sure. So just on a side note, we always talk about something that's not Arkansas Razorback related. And I'll bring that up for this one, is how about... Is it just a coincidence that Julia Cromers goes over to Ohio University, and all of a sudden their football program becomes like one of the worst in the nation when they were one of the better programs in the MAC? Like, you know what I'm saying? When they were like knocking on the door of conference championships every year to being 0-4. Just it just seems to, I don't know, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but it just seems like places that she's at, the football teams don't excel when she's in charge.
Yeah, I can't believe she took the momentum of, I guess, maybe firing Bielema and hiring Morris. That she took that into an AD job where she pushed out Solich. Man, I just don't think he was ready the way. If he would have retired right after the season last year, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
right before the season, like how it happened, didn't make no sense at all, dude.
Yeah. JCP is just bad news. And I'm all for, I think more women should get chances as the athletic director, but she's She's not. She's bad news on the hiring fronts, and I don't know. You think she's probably going to get a chance to hire the next football coach?
Look, here's the thing, man. She's had a bad track record in the past, but she's fixing to have an opportunity to hire her guy. It'll be absolutely her guy. It'll be her first absolute hire. It won't be like she had to, do at Arkansas and hire through a committee and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
It'll be her hire. And if it's Chad Morris, man, that's not. Ooh, man.
Texas Hall of Fame coach Chad Morris, a guy she's very comfortable with. She
thinks he needs a second chance.
Yeah. It's like he's ready. He could fit in really well in a MAC school. You know what I mean?
It's almost like high school.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? Maybe she'll hire Bobby Petrino. A win a dang championship. You never know, right? Been the next step up. He'd take that job in a heartbeat.
You know what? I think about that. That actually might be a pretty good. You're 0-4. You're not going to be very good this year. Golly, man, he's doing.
Oh no, this guy's not doing well at all. He's not going to be around next year. There ain't no way unless he starts winning some games, and I don't think he can win in games at this point, man, because the teams he's played and how poorly he's done. It's like a Chad Morris situation. It really is, and it's just. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it because I remember watching Ohio football because that's where I got my master's. I remember watching Ohio football and being like, Arkansas is losing bad, but at least Ohio is.
We got a second team that was winning.
Yeah, at least they're winning, right? And so, like this is now it's just like. Whew.
I think Petrino's where they're just going to. Man, They lost. Missouri State lost to Oklahoma State by 7. Mm-hmm. Not bad at Oklahoma State. They beat number 16 Central Arkansas, and then they beat South Dakota, who's pretty good too. So they're 2-1. So he's going to finish this year off, and that might not be a bad hire for old JCP. Either Morris or Petrino.
It'd be nice if Petrino went over there before he played us, and then we just played some random coach.
Yeah,
at that school.
Yeah. He's going to come with it next year. We're going to lose, but he's definitely going to. That's going to be wild.
You never know with him, man. Might just do trick plays the whole time or something. It's be like his Super Bowl.
He's going to get offered jobs during the offseason and be like, no, all next year we're going back to Fayetteville.
I'm not taking that Ohio job.
Well, this is a big.
Going to Fayetteville. Man.
Oh, gosh.
Well,